What's going on YouTube? It's Kevin Wells with some practical advice to help you in your everyday life as well as your communication skills with others. And again, I'm back here today, but this time with the ABC model again. And this time to show you how again, I've already talked about how your thoughts and emotions, but I want you to kind of see it on a different level. And what I mean by levels is like a scale of 1 to 10, 1 not at all, 10 extreme, right? So here's the thing. So whenever a situation pops off, so let's say my pop off, when a situation occurs, so your wife, your husband say something to you that kind of triggers you, right? So you are going to have this around in here, you're going to have that physiological response that I mentioned. And so your brain's already going to be kicking into the fight or flight mode, all right? And so what I want you to understand is once that situation, I'm gonna call it situation X happens, we're gonna have some thoughts about it, right? And so depending on if I'm going in fight or flight mode, most likely I'm gonna have what we would call as hot thoughts, right? And so when my hot thoughts start going and they increase, what it's gonna do is it's gonna increase my emotion level, right? And then it's gonna increase my behavior. It's going to increase the intensity of the behavior. So if I went from I'm talking to you the way right now, to you how I'm talking to you right now, then it may start going up and up and up and up and up and up. And then so that's what's going to happen as your emotions increase. So again, your thoughts are very important because my thought process, let's say I'm at a 5 right here, well that's going to create a 5 emotion and that's going to create a 5 behavior, right? And so again, my thoughts are going to have a huge impact on my emotions. So I really have to be cognizant of what I'm thinking at all times because that is going to have an influence on this. And I get it. Sometimes you're going to hit those hot buttons, right? Those hot buttons, the ones that you just, man, they put you at a 10 quick. So it's maybe that snarling remark or that underhanded blow where you've had an intimate conversation with somebody and they decide to just shove it in your face, right? I think we've all been there. Heck, I've done it before. So we've all done it, right? We've all done it and we've all received it. So let's just be honest with that right there. So and so here's the thing. So what I've learned from all this is that so we have hot and we also have cold thoughts, right? And so whenever we're having hot thoughts, again, where are we at? We're in our emotional mind. And so when we're in our emotional mind, our physiology is picking up. We're going to fight or flight. All my blood's going from my brain to my extremities because guess what hasn't changed in 10,000 years is my brain stem. And so guess what it's ready to do? Fight, flight. It's getting my extremities ready. And that's why you start doing all this, right? That's why you start moving around or whatever because your body is getting ready for fight or flight. And so but here's the deal, we can cancel that out real quick if you can observe it. Remember, observe, describe, participate, right? Be mindful. So if I can observe that I'm having some hot thoughts, right? And then I start to say, hey, you know what? Man, this really ain't worth it. This isn't, or you know what? Maybe I need to ask, like we talked in another video, I need to ask a question. Man, I'm using always and nevers. Maybe, okay, you know what? Let me just take a deep breath. I'm thinking. So what am I doing? So what I'm gonna start doing is I start putting cold thoughts in here, and what starts happening? That starts decreasing, allowing me to think more, which causes my emotions to go down, which causes my behaviors to go down. So I mean, I guess you could say if this is aggressive, then my aggressive behaviors, unlike when they're hot, are going up, and my anger going up, all that goes down, right? So kind of keep that in mind, and guess what you're going to get? I always say this like this, we're going to get more of our values versus getting less of them, right? So, or I should say, we're walking more towards our values versus walking away. And if the relationships is important to you, then you want to make sure that you're walking towards your values. So again, big thing here is being cognizant of how your thoughts are playing a role in your emotions and your behaviors. Because physiologically, it's just going to happen. But what's going to help you manage that particular behavior so that you don't do something that you've been working so diligently and hard. And let's be honest, if you're watching this, then you're trying to work on yourself. And I just applaud you for even listening to my little 5 or 10 minutes, much less whatever else you're listening to, right? So again, what we're doing here, and I'm going to quote something from the Bible here, and this is like 2,000 years old, guys, and it's so funny how it still applies today. The Bible says, "Be angry, but do not sin." Right? So there's nothing wrong with you being upset. That's good you're upset, because your body's telling you, hey, this doesn't work for me. But we have to change the tonality of it. We have to change the way that we show it. And guys, I struggled with this for a while. It took me ages to figure this out. So knowing it and applying it, there's one thing about knowing it, there's another thing about applying it, because you can know it, but here's what's going to happen. Hot thought kicks in. Man, I can't believe she said that to me. Man, fuck her. Da, 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 da. And I know I said some cursing. I'm sorry. I know I need to quit that probably, actually. But that's what you're thinking in your head, right? Or you're thinking, let's say, oh man, he's such an asshole. I can't believe him. He's da 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 da. And you're doing this in your head. You may not be saying it out loud, but that's what's going on in your head. And here's the thing, guys. I don't care what goes on up here. Right? I don't care about the first thought or the second thought. What I care about for you is, what are you doing with this third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth and the seventh thought, right? Or when you start getting on the right track and then you have the efforts come back in and want to say, no, I'm gonna take the pin out of the grenade and just blow this whole thing back up, right? So what I care about is making progress. And so that's the idea here, is making progress. But the way we make progress is being more cognizant of all this stuff going on in our brain, right? So again, what we want to do is, when we notice we're doing, see, here's the thing, you can be messing up in the middle of the conversation, messing it up. But if you can come to and say, hey, you know what, whoa. Take a deep breath, start changing your tone of voice, start changing the way that your hands are going, the way your body language is going. What you're doing two things, right? One, you're teaching your body, hey, my significant other isn't a saber-tooth tiger, right? Because that's what your brain's thinking. It's ready to run and fight. You're also teaching your brain a new habit that, hey, just because something is starting to trigger something in my heart rate, doesn't mean I have to react this way. So you have a couple things going on for you here that's really good, that's helping you out with this. Again, this is not a perfect thing. This isn't always how it's going to go down, but it will more often than not the more you practice it. But the key thing here is, you have to understand, are you having hot thoughts or cold thoughts? And depending on what that looks like, that's going to increase or decrease your emotional state. And it's also going to increase or decrease the intensity of your behavior, which in turn will take you towards your relationship goals or take you away from them. So which one are you doing today? Are you being cognizant of your hot thoughts and your cold thoughts? And if not, what might we need to start working on today? All right, guys, hope that helps. Look forward to the next video. Talk to you soon. Bye.